Hello and welcome to the latest video summary of our industry news, brought to you by Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today. Well, there's no escaping it, the general election is having its effect on the market, with transactions totals beginning to drop at least a little in most areas. But there's no shortage of agents preparing for a post-election bounce. This week has seen a spate of acquisitions and expansions within the industry. First up, Savills has acquired the old countryside estate agency Smiths Gore for a rumoured £40 million. The Smiths Gore name, which has been well known in the country house and farming market for about 150 years, will eventually disappear as a result of the move. Secondly, Hunters has opened 2 branches on the Wirral. This takes its total around the country to over 130, ahead of what is expected to be afloat on the stock exchange later this year. Lomond Capital has been on the acquisition trail again too. It's just snapped up 2 more branches in Scotland, which had been trading under the Grant and Wilson brand. Lomond now operates 5 major lettings and estate agency brands across 5 cities in the UK, with plans to enter 2 more city markets by the end of 2015. And Linley & Simpson, which recently secured £1.8 million in funding to go on a spending spree, has purchased Hendy's, a Leeds agency that handled both sales and lettings. Elsewhere in the industry, there's been more skirmishes between the different property portals. Zoopla has again accused OnTheMarket of failing to make an impact, quoting traffic figures showing that the new portal has fewer visitors than sites like Spare Room and Holiday Lettings. Meanwhile, Rightmove has recorded its best ever month for traffic. An amazing 115 million visits were recorded in March. And before we leave the subject of portals, Estate Agent Today has itself made the news by inviting the head of 3 of the main portals to have a debate to discuss the future of the portal sector. Angels Media, publisher of Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today, has written to Miles Shipside of Rightmove, Alex Chesterman of Zoopla and Ian Spriggett of OnTheMarket to suggest a leaders' debate. If the 3 agree, we'll video the debate and put it up here on Estate Agent Today. Still online, there's been news from Easy Property and Estates Direct that they are expanding. Easy Property, which currently handles lettings in England and Wales, is expanding into sales after the summer. It's also going to float on the stock exchange in a bid to expand into Europe over the next 2 years. And Estates Direct, which was set up by the founder of Poundland, Steve Smith, has just grabbed £1.35 million through crowdfunding to help its expansion to cover most of England for the first time. OK, we can't avoid it any longer. We're going back to the general election. This week, we've had news from the Liberal Democrats that they are going to give local authorities the power to double council tax on second homes. And Labour says it's going to fast-track the introduction of mansion tax if it wins on May the 7th. If a Labour government forms, mansion tax will be law within 100 days, says Ed Miliband. Meanwhile, the Conservatives have found themselves in hot water over their controversial policy of right to buy extended to housing associations. It now turns out that a former Tory housing minister, Chris Hopkins, described the idea as risky about 18 months ago. But that was before the party adopted it as a policy. And finally this week, a cheeky little message from the agency Cubitt West, which covers parts of Surrey and Sussex. It may not be the most elegant board ever put outside an office, but there's no disputing the message. It says if one of its customers' homes were advertised on OnTheMarket, it would be seen by a maximum of 38,000 visits to the portal each day. That's compared with over 2 million visits per day on Rightmove and over 1.25 million visits a day on Zoopla. The message ends with the question to the sellers, who would you rather use? Well, we hope you would rather use Estate Agent Today and Letting Agent Today when it comes to keeping up with the latest news from our industry. We're live every day on those websites, which this week will be enjoying a new look as the sites are being redesigned. We'll be back again with another video news summary next week, so see you next time.